All right, welcome back, you guys, to The Angle Perspectives of Toronto Real Estate. My name is Amy Youngren. I'm your host. I'm the founder of North Group Real Estate. And today I am joined by franchise owner Darren DeYoung of A Buyer's Choice Home Inspection. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
Darren, right out of the gate, I just want to ask you, as a home inspector and the owner of a franchise, a home inspection franchise, from your perspective, what are you seeing is happening right now in the Toronto real estate market?
Well, I can tell you one word right off the bat, busy. We are extremely busy. Yeah, right out of the gate, starting in the beginning of this year, January tends to be a bit of a slower time of year for home inspections.
Mhm.
End of the year, we've got holidays, things are just slowly ramping up, but it's been busy right away. And I think there's been just been a lot of activity. A lot of conditions are coming back in, which is great to see. A lot of protection for all the buyers out there. Yeah, so it's been really, really busy.
And I guess that would be one of the first signs on your end of seeing the industry or the market, the real estate market picking up would be the number of inspections that are being booked. Also, would it change at all if you're seeing the number of inspections that are being booked during a conditional period versus after the fact, just to find out what's going on with the property?
Yeah, I mean, before, there was a lot of post purchase. Then back in 2021, right, when you couldn't get inspection for the life of you, it was impossible. That was doing a lot of post inspections, right? After they bought the property. Now they got okay, now they still want to know what they're up against, what they want to budget for. Now it's a lot of conditional and a lot of tight conditional periods, 1 to 3 days even.
Okay. Are you seeing any sellers doing home inspections right now before they put their property on the market? Like, what we call in our industry a pre-listing home inspection, so that they can educate buyers on the condition of the property while it's on the market?
Yeah, so I do find with pre-list inspections, which I'm a big fan of, I think it's advantageous to do a pre-listing inspection for both parties. I think it protects both sides and it helps to streamline the process a lot easier. It depending on the time of year, depending on the market of that you're in as well. I do find sometimes they're a little more popular than others. Sometimes it can be a hard sell. Sometimes there's still that stigma of, don't want to, pre-list inspection, when am I opening up here type of thing. But in the market now, I think it's very advantageous to do one now because chances are a lot of conditional offers are going on. And if your house is going to get a conditional offer, then if you do it ahead of time, it streamlines the process a lot faster. Gives the time for sellers to fix anything if they want it beforehand. You provide a report to the buyer; they can trust the report. Transparency between both parties, trust between both parties. So, yeah, I mean, I think I like to see more. I'd always like to see more pre-listing inspections. I almost think it should be the norm to do a pre-listing inspection. I think it just helps move things along quicker, and it complements the staging and the photography that goes along with the listing of the property as well. It kind of helps balance that out, gives that one little extra advantage to that listing, right? Make you stand out. It's kind of,
Yeah, part of the
you know,
entire package that a listing
yeah,
agent is delivering the value to the
yeah,
seller. Yeah.
yeah, for sure, absolutely.
So, in your perspective, like, or for what you see, what are the top issues that homeowners are typically facing that you think, with your recommendations, could be easily resolved with preventative maintenance?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll talk one. I talk about this all the time, and it's not a very hard fix, but it takes maintenance, like you mentioned. Grading, water management is such a big thing I see on the exterior of the home. Grading, which is basically providing a negative, slope away from your foundation,
Right.
making sure the grading is proper around, and your downspouts have extensions on that are leading out. You want to make all that water that sheds from the roof is draining outwards. I find all the time extensions are off or the winter time they've fallen off, they haven't been put back on. And or even the eaves troughs are full of leaves, right? They're full of leaves, all the water will pour over around the foundation and the structure as well. So water management is huge. And it's just one of those things where you just got to, every year, you just got to check the grading, make sure your downspouts are on. There's these little things that could create a lot of problems down the road if not taken, right?
Is that
If
is
not
that an
managed properly.
expensive thing to manage or to be checking on?
No, I mean it just comes with proper maintenance. I mean things start to settle, especially in Canada here with the
Mhm.
winter, right?
Of
With the
course.
freeze thaw and the ground starts to move, your patio stones start to move and shift. So it's just a matter of every year just going around your property, making sure your downspouts are on, you're extending at least 6 feet away, your grading is good. If any stones have settled, maybe you got to dig them up, reset them. So they've got a nice little slope away. I mean, it just takes an ongoing, as we all know, home ownership is an ongoing maintenance, it never ends.
Yeah.
But there are little things like that that'll really help and prevent any future issues that could happen, especially on older homes, right? With older foundations. as well.
Something that
So
we always recommend when we're talking to our buyers when they're looking at buying a home is to not just factor in what is it going to cost you to have a mortgage and to close on the property, but do you have an X amount of reserves or savings so that you can set that aside for any potential maintenance issues that are going to come, because they are going to come. It's just a matter of
yeah,
when.
yeah, and that's why home inspections are so valuable. It's
Yeah.
not only about finding the major issues, but it's also educating the buyer on maintenance, what to maintain, what to look out
Oh,
for,
good. Yeah.
right? Because if you're a first-time home buyer coming from a condo or you don't know anything about homes and you buy a home without inspection, and if you don't know all these little things, those could cost you down the line. Knowing how old your furnace is, how old your AC is, how often should I service it? Things like that are just so important. So your furnace doesn't break down in November when winter hits, right? So
I just love that you took that perspective that it's not less about knowing what's going on with the property right now, but it's about educating yourself. I'm not diminishing that, but it's about really educating
yeah,
yourself for home ownership, for
yeah.
taking care of the most important and highest and the highest investment or asset that you're going to achieve, right?
Oh yeah, I always, and home inspection is one of the things I always use that little saying about used cars, right? You would never buy a used car. If you're buying a used car, you're gonna get a safety. You want to make sure everything's right. The brakes are good, nothing's leaking. That's a ten
Right.
thousand dollar car. You're buying $1 million house. Probably should see what's going on and how old everything is and
Yeah.
how to maintain it. That's huge. So again, I'm not diminishing that either. You always want to make sure the structure good, the important stuff is good, but maintenance is just such a big part of that as well.
And 1 million, that seems on the low side
Yeah,
based on our market, right?
that's
Um,
right. Yeah.
so what are maybe some of the top recommendations that you would make, improvements or remedies for, if I'm a seller or I'm thinking about selling, what do you think I should be, working on in my property before I list it for sale? Like are some of the top improvements that you would suggest?
Sure. So, of course, there's always, the kitchen, the bathroom, the highlights of the house where everybody loves and gathers, right? There's always those. But in my opinion, I think one is curb appeal. I think when it's not a lot of money, may not be a lot of money, but curb appeal is huge. When buyers walk up and they see it's been well taken care of,
Right.
it gives a bit of a confidence to buyers when they're coming in. Wow, this house has been taken care of. You feel more confident about maybe putting an offer on this house. I think a backyard is a big one. Everyone loves to spend time in the backyard. So whether it's putting a deck, patio, we re-landscaping or something. Everyone loves a nice backyard, right? And another thing, which could cost more money, and I am noticing that I'm doing a lot more inspections for multifamilies or investors. So
Mm,
people are buying homes and they want an extra mortgage or they want extra income, right? For like the basement.
yeah,
So you can, if you have a house that has a separate entrance, if you want to put a finish or at least have it available so it's there and ready to possibly be an income.
right.
I think that's huge, and that people want to come in and want to rent the basement, live upstairs, and that's sort of I've been doing a lot of that as well. And like I said, even the multifamilies, a lot of people coming in and sharing the mortgage and moving in, right? So having your house, if it's set up that way, and you can have
Yeah,
it, so it shows available that hey, you know what, rental potential income for this
absolutely.
property.
Absolutely. You mentioned the kitchen and bathroom. Those are our prime areas for improvement. So what changes do you think bring the highest return on investment for a seller, keeping in mind that they're selling their property, so they need to get the return. They need to get the money out that they're going to spend in order for it to make sense.
So you mean in the sense of like what's inside the kitchen, you mean, or what parts of
Oh
that, or
no, no,
just in
you
general?
you mentioned kitchen or bathroom, so I think
Yeah,
that those are prime
yeah,
fixes. But is there
yeah.
anything from an inspection standpoint that you think that if a seller
Oh,
did remedy this or change this
yeah,
or fix this, they would get the return?
sure. I mean, obviously, I think a new roof, right? If everyone knows you have a new roof, that's a big one, right? I mean, that's not a cheap thing to fix. And knowing if a seller's done a brand new roof, that's enticing, right? That's definitely a big one. New HVAC systems, new furnace and AC, those are not cheap either. Those are expensive. So knowing that they're brand new, I think that will definitely get you a return for those things. New water heater, upgrade electrical panel. Maybe if you upgrade a 200 amp service, everything's about electric cars nowadays. So everybody needs extra power to put in for electric cars and these more, high amperage um, um, things. So I think those are some areas definitely that'll entice buyers
Well,
for
I
sure.
really appreciate this conversation. It's been informative. It's helpful. You've taken the angle of both offering input for both buyers and sellers, and so often when we
Sure.
think inspections, we think just what benefits the buyer, but
Yeah.
your perspective was very valuable for potential sellers as well. So if anybody wanted to reach you, how would they get a hold of you?
Yep, sure. So that I got my email, which is darren.deyoung@abuyerschoice.com. My phone number is 905-441-6400. You can also find me on social media where I spend a lot of my time.
Ah,
Darren.abuyerschoice.inspects, or you can just search my name up and please follow. Please
all
follow me.
right. Darren, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate having you today.
Thanks, Amy. Appreciate having me on.